Hello, welcome to a new video looking at a brand new release by EastWest Sounds, the Hollywood Strings 2, Close Up and Intimate. And that tells you already about this library. It's not a larger version and refined version of the original Hollywood Strings. No, it's more like a mid-size or chamber-size group. They recorded in a different studio, the smaller studio next to their main hall here in Hollywood. So look at the size. If you go down the website, they tell you down here, we got 6 first violins, 4 second violins, 4 violas, 4 celli, and 3 basses. And that's pretty much I would say, an average chamber orchestra size. Some of them are a little smaller maybe, but not usually larger. So this is actually a nice group. If you can have that live in the studio, you will be thrilled what you can do with like 20, 21, 22 players in the room. If you compare this to the competition, Spitfire has a library out. This is the Spitfire chamber strings. They have 16 players only. So they got 4 first violins, 3 seconds, 3 violas, 3 cellos, and 3 basses. So even smaller. And this is a beautiful library as well. And also the orchestra tools, tableau, chamber strings. They have 5 first, 4 seconds, 4 violas, 4 celli, and 3 basses. So except that 1 violin missing, it's pretty similar to the Hollywood Strings. So, how does it sound? Very good. Let's go over to Cubase and listen to my Bach piece I used in all my string library comparison videos. And I tell you right away, be patient when you download it. Right now, everybody wants it, and it took 5 hours to get it. I didn't buy it. I actually subscribed to the Composer Cloud. Last year, it was on sale for $149. And I thought, you know what? For $150 for 1 year, let's try this. I tried the Orchestrator and I tried some of the other libraries they have, and it's really beautiful stuff in there. And I think for $150, definitely worth playing around for 1 year. And but if I show you my screenshot of the installer, sorry, it's a little blurry, but it says 5 hours, and the server ran at between 9 and 10 megabits per second, and I'm at like 80 here at my house. Download and upload, I'm very fast, right? So that's what I mean. Their servers, were completely working very hard to deliver this to everybody. So that's why at 10 megabits per second, it took 5 hours to get those files. It's about 170 gig. So be ready, have space on your hard drive because there are a lot of articulations. And of course, the mic positions. And they mentioned that immediately in their videos. And that's part of the beauty, that you have so much control over the sound of those 21 players. So let's hop over to Cubase and take a closer look what this library may do for you or may not do for you. All right. All right, so here we are in Cubase, and I pulled up my Bach piece I used, as you can see, with other libraries in the past. Please check out my other videos. See down here, BBC Symphony, Nashville, Iconica, ADO, Cinematic Studio Strings, and so on. So here we are, Opus. This is the Opus engine, and you can see in your installed list, if you have it installed, it's going to be down here, EastWest Hollywood Strings. First violins, second violins, basses, cello, full string combinations, and the violas. And if you go to the instruments, then we have the categories: long, short, effects, legato, key switch. And if you're using Opus, you know the nice function about Opus is a little preview. When you click the different articulation, you hear like one note, and it gives you an idea of what's coming. So you can hear differences. It's hard with the legato because the magic is in the slurs or expressive or the bow change legato, all that, and the key switch. Of course, everything is in key switch if you like key switching. And so I have right now the legato loaded. There are different legatos. I picked the legato all VS, and down here, if you look at it, here we go, legato. It gives you a description. So this one is connected legato in either direction, articulation. And the only thing you need to really know about EastWest Opus that the modulation wheel does not control your CC11 expression, right? So something to know. So if I play the first violin, if I move the Modwheel up and down, it changes the vibrato. See? So when you write volumes or expression, you need to do it with the 11. So I had to actually redo it for the Opus libraries, because on most other libraries, the Modwheel increases also, it works on CC11. So when you look at my data, I have two lanes going. I got the modulation for the vibrato. When we get a little louder, we get more excited as a string player. We might add more vibrato back down. To make it easy, I actually copied the line. Pretty lazy, but it does the job. So the expression CC11 will do the volume rights, and the modulation will do the vibrato. So 6 violins sound very nice. And this is like the basic. If I go back to the browser, if you go to play, you can see the microphone settings. And right now, this is what you're getting when you open the sample. This is like the default, which means the main mics are up at 100% and the close section are up. So if I move the close down, see how that changes? And I don't want to go through all those mic sections, because they're you can really detailed see what you want to do. You can dial in, and also we want to take the reverb off, because I'm having my own reverb. Nice thing about Opus, I have all those instances loaded, and if you click master, it will actually turn off the reverb for all instances. It's kind of nice. So the Bach Air, right, is very legato, not too much portamento, but you can hear the string sound. And let me play you the first violin of the big symphony. So you can hear a different tone. Of course, that's 16 violins, that gives you that lush orchestral sound. And of course, if you play a Bach piece like that, it's way too much. So it's that super romantic setting, and I'm sure even Bach would not have had 60 string players at the church. But in a chamber setting, this music, and also as for pop and rock and other arrangements, if you don't want that epic sound, you're better off with a smaller group, right? So that's why this one is cleaner, more pristine. You can hear more details, and I think it's more elegant. So here we have the basses, 3 basses. Listen to those, guys. And I pulled a different sample for the basses. Let me get this up here. They're a little more, this is the bow change legato. And if you compare this to the large six basses, yeah, I mean, that's, large section, small section. So I think the Hollywood Strings 2 is a great addition if you already have the cloud or if you are using Opus Hollywood Strings, because you have more control, downsizing the section depending on your arrangement, on the music you're using, right? And of course, there's so many legato options. Right now, you can experiment with the bow change legatos, with the expressive legatos. I mean, there's the legato with the slur, there's legatos with the portamentos, and depending on the music, what you need, it's pretty much there. So that is nice, and also the mic positions are great. I thought I want to hear the spiccatos because with the big group, it's usually too heavy, not as precise. And I did a little mock-up here of the Vivaldi Four Seasons. That's like a section in the middle of the summer, the last movement, and you can hear those very crisp. Those are called, let me get this over here, the spiccatos round robin times 8. The first violins actually have spiccato times 10. And I use the staccatos in the violas and the basses because, sometimes they have more the eighth notes going and you get more, a definition with a staccato sample. But you have to experiment depending on the tempo. But here is a little bit of Vivaldi's Summer. Nice, right? So very crisp, very together, very clean. Let's hear the Flautando, and a couple of chord progressions I did. So here's Flautando with the full string section. So this is not divided up. This is just one track. And if you're a keyboard player, if you like to work like that, make your string arrangements, you also have a legato in other versions. Right, so sounds beautiful. And also, of course, we can go to something else. Let's see the harmonics. And it really explains what they do here also. It says CC11 crossfades between two dynamics of harmonics, for instance, right? Of course, I didn't add a bass, so I need to add a bass note. All right, let's try this again, and I'm playing a bass note in so you can hear the low end. So very expressive, and that's, at your fingertips. You can play the chords and later then divide it up into the individual, tracks. So this is what they call full strings There's another funny little one. It's called Live 21 Piece Ensemble. So they recorded everybody together. Of course, you don't want to play double stops or accords because it's going to turn into a 60-piece ensemble. But yeah, it's for unison lines. And same on the Modwheel. Adds vibrato. Yeah, this might come in handy if you just want a quick octave line somewhere, but I usually have it separated into violin 1, 2, and then I just copy the part and move it up and down the octave, right? But yeah, so they have a few nice, even the short notes are all great, of course, you know. This is interesting. This is the shorts with the Modwheel. Okay, so if the Modwheel is all the way down, so if you look at my Modwheel, here it is, down here, right? Here's the Modwheel. So if I have it down here, and makes it longer, right? And now we got the marcato. So yeah, so if you write the Modwheel properly, you can quickly alternate between spiccato, staccato, slurp, and the marcato, which saves you maybe the key switching. So that's another option if you have to do quickly a demo or you want to just avoid a million tracks over here and you just load the shorts mod. And those exist, by the way, for all individual players too. So you can use the Modwheel. So in conclusion, is this library worth buying? And that's always the big discussion because we are spending so much money on, sample libraries, and it's not cheap. So if I go down here on the website, it's currently, of course, on sale, introduction for $3.99, later $4.99, maybe in 2 years it's going to go down to $2.99. We just don't know. So, you have to invest your money wisely, and there's many other options as well. This is a beautiful library. It sounds great. All the basic articulations are nicely done. The mic positions are great. It's in tune. It's playable. I like it. But then I have the Composer Cloud, so it didn't cost me anything. For this 1 year, I could just download it and try it. So that's the idea of the cloud, right? You can also look at Spitfire, the chamber strings, smaller, also beautiful library, way more articulation. I mean, this is double the articulations, but then it's going to cost you $750, right? The Orchestra Tools one, the tableaus, have less articulations, sustains, crescendos, soft, legatos, things like that, one spiccato, and that's it. But that's why you get it for 179 euros, which is around $200, right? So the Adastra even is in the same price range, right? For their chamber ensemble. Watch my video on the Adastra, the Adio collection. So yeah, so you want to see what you want to spend. Is it worth for you? Do you need chamber strings? Are you doing more huge orchestral, projects with the epic sound, or you do pop, rock, jazz, and you need that smaller ensemble, right? So you have to really see where you're going. But it's worth checking it out. I think it's definitely well done. And so I had fun playing it, and I definitely will use it as long as my subscription is still valid. So please let me know in the description which chamber libraries, chamber orchestra, or chamber string libraries you like the best. I'm really curious to see what you guys have been using. So put it down in the comments. And thanks for watching and happy composing. And until next time, bye.